G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. We are here on Gorge to witness two of the world's best players take each other on in the brand new EGC TV event. Ladies and gentlemen, spawning in on the south side of the map in the color yellow, playing as the English representing Team Elephant, we've got CSO. And in the north side of the map in the color red, playing as the Ayyubids, we've got Marine Lord. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a casted game. It is a pleasure to have your company here. Let's get to it because, well, we've got ourselves quite the game today. We'll start off with just a little bit of split screen action as these players make their way across the map, and I fill you in about EGC TV and what the plans are. If you haven't already checked it out, make sure you check it out tonight. They've got another round that is going to be happening today. And that's going to be at 15 GMT. So make sure you type that into Google. That'll convert it to your local time. And then you can know, okay, I've got to set my alarm for that time. Because we've got... the way that it's working at the moment is it's in a round robin system, which is where you've got... There's two groups, and they're all battling off against each other in that round robin system. You know, you've got, like, as an example here, Marine Lord versus CSO, and Marine Lord versus Vortex, and Beastie versus Lucifron, and they all play against each other. And then at the end of the day, whoever's won the most games, they get a nice little pat on the back, that sort of thing. But speaking of pats on the backs right now, I got to say Marine Lord's got himself a nice little haul when it comes to the sheep. That is for sure. So we'll have to be keeping an eye out on that. CSO only going to be able to deposit or drop off 3 sheep so far. Now, keep in mind, he is playing the English, so that's going to feel pretty good for him playing the English. And, well, I shouldn't say it's going to feel pretty good for him, because it never feels good when you get yourself only 3 or 4 sheep, okay? Ideally, you want to be getting all the sheep, if at all possible. Whereas, that's not the case here today, unfortunately, for CSO. He's only picked up a handful, but remember, he's playing the English, so it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal here for him. Marine Lord on the other side of the map, though, going to be looking to age up shortly. You can see he's got plenty of villagers here out over on food, couple villagers down on gold, and I think the big question is, what are they going to be looking to do here? Because there is just so many damn options when you play, and it looks like we've got the age up that will be coming through. We'll take a look and see what it is. It's going to be the military wing. It's going to be that reinforcement, which is definitely a smart call. We've seen a lot of players doing this opening recently, starting off with the reinforcements and then moving into the eco wing, just mainly looking for those extra villagers in the castle age. It just allows you to boost your economy like crazy. And I'm curious to see exactly how this game plays out. Now, I will also mention that this is a best of 3. So we're watching the first game in that best of 3. Now, I guess technically it could only be 2 games that we get to see in the best of 3. But hopefully we get to see 3 games, because these games are live. They're happening right now. It's the night before, or the day before, I guess you could say. But I'll be casting EGC TV's event. I'll be doing the final day, just simply because, look, I'll be honest, I've read a couple of comments that have said, you know, Drongo, we need you over on the Elite Classic. We wish you're over there casting. But the truth is, it's so late at night for me, man. It is like, I have to wake up at 3 a.m. Well, technically it's 2 a.m. Because I got to get myself ready. You know, got to have a shower. Got to look beautiful for the stream. But it's just so disruptive. You know, I'm going to sleep at 10 o'clock every night, waking up 6 a.m. in the morning, and it's 2 a.m. that I've got to wake up for that. So it's right in the middle of my sleep window, which sucks, because there's, you know, if it was at the end of the sleep window, then maybe I could go to sleep a little bit earlier and then wake up a little bit earlier. Or if it's at the beginning of my sleep window, then maybe I can stay up for it and then sleep a little bit later. But it's like, it's right in the middle, so it really, really hurts. But the age ups now finally going to be coming through here. We've got the council hall, 3 vills on gold, so you know what that means. 3 vills on gold typically means we are going to be seeing a feudal play here from CSO, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do see the double broadaxe coming through for him. It could also be looking for that wheelbarrow as a potential opening, and it looks like it will be the wheelbarrow just to start things off. 3 vills on gold. Expect to see those armor upgrades come through a little bit later. Marine Lord, where are you getting all these damn sheep from? You've already dropped off all these sheep back home. Have a look at this. Marine Lord sitting on 11 sheep back home, now going to be taking 7 with him. Meanwhile, CSO, I can't even see the carcasses. He's going to have to turn into farms already. How have you done this? See, and this is one of the things that happens on this map, on Gorge in particular. It's so damn hard, just simply because for some reason the sheep always turn out really badly. Not always, I shouldn't say that, but quite often, at least when I'm playing, it is it's not fun. So really nice play here from Marine Lord. This is going to buy himself plenty of time. But have a look at this on the other side. For Marine Lord, we've got the wheelbarrow coming in. No outpost on the gold. Only 2 villagers on the gold as well. And 2 production buildings going to be coming up here, which means that we're going to be seeing ourselves big feudal fights. Triple longbow back here. Should be able to repel the Desert Raider, and we'll be able to find success here. So far, so good for CSO. Not a bad little position. Double broadaxe going to be coming in for him as well, as that transition of farms is already beginning, and it's something unfortunate. Normally, you know, as the English, you want to transition to farms, but you don't want to be forced to transition to farms. You want to be the one who calls the shots. You want to be he who shot calls. But here, unfortunately, with Marine Lord and 17 herdable sheep, not to mention the one that's on the ground there, it is Marine Lord who calls it. No, don't do him like this. He's taken out the remaining sheep. Look at Marine Lord, you masochist! He's taken out the 2 remaining sheep from CSO. CSO was like, I was going to pay for my children's primary school with these sheep. And now oh, you hate to really... Poor CSO. Marine Lord has just really got his number this game, and you can see the longbow numbers starting to build here for him, but the barracks will get thrown down as well. And I think CSO is just kind of heading to the drawing board. I suspect we're probably going to see horticulture coming through, and I think this is fine, right? Like, as long as he protects the gold, as long as he continues building up the massive longbows, I say that, but then the problem is Marine Lord's just going to go Castle Age if he sees that happening. He'll just go take relics, take 3 sacred sites, and you're going to be in a tough spot because, you know, you're going to be camping in your base and you're going to be having a good time, but all of a sudden, then the Ayyubid player is just on a different level to you. But speaking of Ayyubid player, let's go check in with Marine Lord. Now, I think when I introduced Marine Lord, I didn't mention the fact that he's playing for Izzy Esports. So let me throw that in there right now. If you didn't know what the IZI stands for in front of his name, that's what it is. Izzy Esports. Sorry, it's not Izzy Esports. It's Izzy Dream. I remember reading a comment. See, look at that. You guys, you say things, and it registers in there. You know, it doesn't always get processed immediately. Takes a bit of time, but I like the fact that he's just mixing in a couple of Desert Raiders here from that military wing, and then just ignores adding in more. We can see right here that they're a bit expensive, 180 resources, and then just going to be going into archers together with horsemen. So pretty standard stuff so far. Now, more upgrades are coming through, and both of these players mirroring their upgrades. So we're seeing wheelbarrow, horticulture, double broadaxe coming through for both players here. We'll have to keep an eye on Marine Lord and see whether he's going to be making a run at the age up. So mainly looking out for the villagers on gold. That's going to be the trigger for it. No blacksmith coming through just yet for Marine Lord. We'll check in with CSO and see how he's doing. No blacksmith coming through just yet for him either. 8-minute mark. He's pushing out with only a handful of units, and the archer's looking to come down from that cliffside, seeing if they can find a little bit of an opportunity, and will look to cause havoc here. This is not a good position for CSO. He's caught out of position with plenty of units here, which means now the horsemen also going to be coming up the rear. Will turn around. His spearman going to be looking to try and help out, and he realizes he's got no choice but to fight this. Unfortunately for him, the numbers are well and truly in favor of Marine Lord. Double the military population at the moment. Archers completely overwhelming the longbowmen of CSO. Where does he go from here, and how does he possibly defend in this situation now that his opponent has overwhelmed him completely? He's got plenty of gold in the bank, so he could be thinking about going to Castle Age, but he's going to throw down another archery range. CSO, I'm going to be honest, I don't think you've got the economy to support triple archery range this early, but we got to respect it, man. We got to respect it. If there's a way out in this game, perhaps that is the way, because his opponent has technically got double range back here. So naturally, triple range is what's going to be double range. Right, guys? Now, have a look at this. 7 vills on gold. What do we say? Keep an eye out for that villager count on gold. That is what's going to be giving that indicator as to if he thinks he can go castle. No, Marine Lord just won a great fight here. It wasn't so much that he's killed his opponent, but what has he done? He's stifled the military of his opponent. It's meant that now his opponent has to fall back, has to create another archery range, has to immediately be like, I'm gonna spam archers. So what does Marine Lord do? He looks to convert this into a tangible benefit, which is going to be his castle age. So all he needs to do here, doesn't even really need to put on pressure, just needs to chill out, and we'll just keep an eye on him. We'll see exactly what his plans are, because, well, hopefully we'll be able to spot out that age up, because it shall be coming through shortly. He's got all those eco upgrades. Keep in mind, no specialized pick just yet for those upgrades, but he will be able to click up shortly. I suspect it's going to be going into the culture wing, maybe looking for advancement just to get a little bit faster up. The alternative is that he goes for the economic wing. I think it's 8 villages, which is absolutely ludicrous, and it looks like he might be saving for it, so we'll have to double check and see, because he's about to click that button. Go on, Marine Lord, do it. I know you want to. And there it is. The age up now going to be coming through, and indeed it is going to be that economic wing. 8 villages. I can't imagine this possibly getting unscathed in the next update. Surely this is going to get nerfed in the next update. It is so damn good. That's crazy, isn't it? 3 villages for the first age. And then into the second age, it's 8 villages. That is crazy when you think about how fast you can get these castle age timings through for the Ayyubids. It's incredible. Now the age up is coming through. CSO is somewhat committed to playing this out in the feudal age at this stage. We start to see the outpost. Wouldn't be surprised to see a siege engineering coming through shortly. But keep in mind behind this that Marine Lord's going to be looking after he's aged up. You're going to be seeing veterancy coming through on these archers together with maybe +2 ranged armor if he can afford it. But then most importantly, he's going to be looking for those camel lancers, which are really going to be allowing him to convert these fights and turn the tides well and truly in his favor. One thing to note is that there is no outpost on this gold, so if Marine Lord gets pushed here, I do feel like he may have to cede this gold from his opponent, so we'll have to wait and see exactly how it plays out for him. Golden Age Tier 2 gets activated, going to find himself a little bit more research speed, which is going to help out so incredibly for this age up. That's a really key factor. Remember that. So instead of that research taking a minute, it's now only going to take 40 seconds, and that means you can take your fight 20 seconds sooner. And when you think about where you can go from 20 seconds, you know, from here over to here, that is a big difference. So it's really, really important to get those upgrades clicked, and you can see right now that Marine Lord is going to head to that north side, knows exactly what his opponent is up to. So we'll have to wait and see exactly what goes on. But meanwhile, down towards the south, it looks like walls are starting to come up here for CSO. Also going to be thinking about going to Castle Age. We can see he's starting to stack up resources. We'll switch it over to income per minute. Income per minute? Income per minute. I guess that's technically what it's called, isn't it? Does it say income per minute? It doesn't say, but we know that it's their income per minute. All right, age up coming through for Marine Lord. Here we go. Have a look at this. 8 villages. Gosh, isn't that just absurd? Immediately clicks veterancy. 40 seconds to go. Remember that. So now, with that veterancy coming in, CSO's got 2 options. Number 1 is he tries to fight immediately, or number 2 is he goes back and he waits for his own upgrades. And it looks like he's going to be going for that latter of the 2 options. When it comes to his age up, expect him to be putting down the King's Palace here. Where does he go for the King's Palace? I think down here is a pretty decent spot. He's got lots of resources. Definitely going to want to anchor himself down this way. But it will just be underneath the main base. Plenty of villagers here to help out with it. He's going to throw 15 on it. Wants to get that age up quickly so he can focus on veterancy. A very key upgrade. But now we start to see more and more upgrades coming through. Not only do we have that veterancy, we also have Sultan's Mamluks coming in, which is going to give him that little bit of extra attack speed, if I remember correctly. Sultan's Mamluks, I think it's the one where if you kill a unit, you get extra attack speed and extra movement speed, but it's only specific to that unit, which is kind of interesting to see that Marine Lord's gone for it here. I can't see the circumstances where it really works other than maybe for like Gulams, it kind of makes sense to me, but for archers, because you've got them in a big ball together and they're always firing together and walking together and chilling together, just doesn't really make sense to me otherwise. But a jump now does come through for CSO. Immediately looking to move into the veterancy for the longbows, wants to make sure that he's going to be insulated from any kind of timing push. No +2s coming through just yet, but plenty of villages on gold, so we'll be looking to bring plenty of units, or upgrades rather, online. One thing to note, though, is we only really see longbows coming out. He's got a single spearman on the field. The longbow numbers are decent, though. He should be able to two-shot most cavalry that is out here. I'd love to see him pick up that line formation as well, just to get a little bit more of a concave. Veterancy coming through now. Also looking to pick up the men-at-arms upgrade. So during this battle, it seems that CSO has definitely decided to go for a bit of a tech switch, switching into men-at-arms, which could make the difference. Now, towards that north side, Dervish going to be coming out from Marine Lord, looking to secure up the religious side of things. The relics are on the way. We can see, where is it? There it is, down here, the mosque. It's going to be looking to rally it out down to the south side next, looking to pick up those contested relics first. We'll check in with his opponent and see, do we have the same thing happening? There we do. The monastery is coming out. No rally point just yet. You'd hope that he looks towards the center. He's got plenty of units out here. And there's the dervish. I think he was looking to try and pick up this relic on the backside. Not going to be able to find it, as dervish is now going to have to fall back to their secondary option. Mangonel is out. This could be a difference maker in these fights, and it will get spotted by CSO. Have a look at this. CSO spotting it out perfectly, so very well done from him to locate that. We're right on board now, as down towards that south side, we can see just how important this becomes. Pushing in. CSO looking to respond here. Just falling back. Does he look to pick up maybe a potential siege workshop? There it is. Siege workshop now going to be coming through. Meanwhile, towards that front, here we go. The longbows caught once again out of position. It's going to be the second time in the game. The longbows are fighting for dear life. Men-at-arm numbers are starting to build, though. He's up to about 3 of them. Able to take out the horsemen in the to the front. Able to tee off there on the backside. Needs to avoid this fight, though. Waiting for that Springald. A single Springald will be able to push this fight back in favor of CSO. The numbers aren't in his favor. Keep in mind, Marine Lord has more than double the amount of archers compared to him, but one of the things that CSO's got in his favor is that attack speed bonus. Mangonel starting to move through, looking for villagers. Not going to be able to find them. Outpost going to take a little bit of damage. Springald is in queue. Took him a while to get the resources for it, but he's managed to save up. Might need to think about moving towards that top side, or maybe bringing more villagers over to the gold vein on the bottom side. Marine Lord now working his way in onto this gold vein. Only 600 left on it. Not a big loss for CSO at this stage of the game. Still looking to pump out units. It's going to be crossbows that he's beginning to move into. And look at this double Springald now going to be coming out from Marine Lord. Part of the reason why the Ayyubids, the Abbasid, the Mongols are so damn good on this battlefield is because they can convert their immediate resources back, Janik, onto the back line. Going to find a couple of farms there. But now he's got that immediate response. He can push with the one Mangonel, force the response from his opponent, in that being the Springald. And now CSO, completely unaware that his opponent's got 2 Springalds, looks to try and find the Mango, not going to find it. Falls back, and now he needs to remake additional ones. The second one's on the way. Relic might get sniped off if he's not careful. Barrick's going to be coming up on the back, and you can see CSO going for a full migration at this stage, looking to try and pull villagers out. Springald's on the back. He might have to think about making a second one. Longbows teeing off. Springald's trying to find a position in here, looking to break their way through. Unfortunately, one shot comes in. Marine Lord, he needs to get a repair off here. You can see the villagers moving to repair. We'll be able to find it. He's continuing to look for it. No third Springald. He's got to look to trade out. Gets a 1-for-1 together with the heals. Should be able to find the hold. Needs to watch the Mangonel. We'll bring in that cinematic mode just so we can get a little bit more vision here. Camel's managing to charge through. The Mango still stands strong. And now CSO's in a little bit of trouble. He's got the relic standing by just in case the Walladol needs to be brought online. Barracks gets cancelled. Still struggling to stay alive. Marine Lord caught him in a little bit of a tough spot back here, but definitely making it awkward for his opponent as well. We'll check back in and see what's going on behind the scenes as I hear sacred sites are starting to get picked up. Have a look at this. We got dervishes in the middle and on the bottom and on the top side. Triple sacred site, not to mention 4 relics against 1. Marine Lord in a very good position here. Now keep in mind, Marine Lord does still maintain that villager lead despite not being on 2 TCs, and that is all because of that economic wing. It allows him to keep up tempo and at the same time allows him to maintain that eco lead, and then of course throws down a second TC just because he knows, well, it's been about that time where my opponent's aged up and I want to keep up on that village account, and he does exactly that. Not to mention the fact he's got the triple sacred site, not to mention the fact he's got the 3 relic advantage. He's feeling good about himself and has demonstrated very well in this game just how damn good he is, just how proficient he is on this civilization. We'll keep an eye exactly on what his plans are, whether Imperial becomes part of that. But the archer numbers are still looking pretty decent here. Manjanique is looming. No Springalds coming out just yet for CSO. Sacred Victory is approaching. Numbers continuing to look good here for Marine Lord. And CSO on 30 military right now. He's going to be forced back underneath the town center, men-at-arms, and together with some crossbows marching out. Manjanique firing down. We get some notifications about sacred sites. Lovely to see. Fortunately, it looks like it's going to get off our screen pretty early there. So thank you, sacred site notification. But longbow numbers in this pocket are threatened. Manjanique rains down terror from above, but fortunately, it's only going to be 4 damage on the majority of these. The majority of these longbow. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! He knows. But he doesn't know. If he knew, he'd send everything. If he knew, he'd send everything. Villagers going to be migrating through. Fortunately, the stealth forest there, it's going to be revealed that the outpost is online, but the other remaining villagers, fortunately, not going to be found. A little bit of longbow action coming out here. We'll ride on board and see exactly what the plan is. Meanwhile, villagers, let's check in and see exactly how he's doing. Plenty more units over here. Gonna link up. So many archers on this field at the moment. Up to 35 archers, 13 as well on the crossbows. So definitely now is the time to move into siege if we haven't already thought about doing that. The other big factor here is going to be sacred sites. How do we look to retake these sacred sites? I think we could potentially look at getting a keep on one of the sacred sites. That could be an option for us. But to be honest, on this map, keeps on sacred sites aren't the best just because resources really don't spawn that often around sacred sites. So normally you want to be securing sacred sites and resources. But today doesn't feel like it's going to be that day. Alternatively, he could just look to challenge the middle with a keep. It's always nice to throw a big keep down in the middle, but we'll have to wait and see how it plays out because at this stage of the game, CSO did lose quite a few villagers in that last battle. Keep in mind, Marine Lord has added a third town center down as well. So we've got that triple TC boom coming in. A lot of lumber camps here. Marine Lord playing like an AI. Have a look at this. I feel like I'm watching an easy AI right now. Oh, maybe not an easy AI. Maybe a hard AI. Marine Lord's pretty good. Maybe not quite hard. Medium. We'll call him a medium AI. I'm just kidding. What's the highest AI you can get? It's like absurd or outrageous or something like that. It's got a ridiculous gather rate bonus. I think it's like a 2x bonus or something like that. It's crazy. And it gets a bonus to everything. It's like bonus to production speed, bonus to building speed, bonus to gather speed, bonus to everything. Everything, man. It's wild. All right, the farming economy continuing to boom here for CSO. We'll check back in over on the side of Marine Lord. Doesn't look like any age ups coming through just yet. He's got a pretty decent food economy, though. That's something to mention, especially because when you've got 1,500 food a minute coming in, all you have to do is stop making units for a while, and all of a sudden, you've got Imperial Age. So we'll keep that in the back of our heads. Camel Lantern numbers starting to rise here. A couple of Desert Raiders in the back. Ville's going to be forced back into that outpost, and no walls coming up here on this top side for CSO is going to mean he's in a bit of a tough spot. I just realized we had a picture up that whole time. Apologies. Let's get ourselves a little bit of this going, though, because the Manjanique is going to be forced back here. Men-at-arm numbers are pretty decent. No spearmen in this battle, though. Springald's firing off. Men-at-arms hoping to hold the front here. Looking pretty decent, actually. And behind it, with the longbows together with the crossbows, they make themselves known to being quite a solid defender. We'll say that much. Checking in, though, on that north side. We'll see exactly how Marine Lord is doing behind this. The farm transition is starting to come through. He's only on 12 farms at the moment. Compare that to his opponent, who is sitting on 38 farms. So there's a bit of difference between them, but obviously the English is going to jump a little bit faster to those farms. But now have a look at this. Triple rack's going to be thrown down. I think CSO realizes Men-at-Arms might be the way to do this here. Now, keep in mind that the Camel Lancer is not as strong as your typical Lancer. I think it's got a little bit less attack. And you remember the charge is different, right? So it's based on how far you charge versus a static amount. And the consequence of that means they're not as effective as Lancers or Knights as when they're dealing with the Men-at-Arms. So going into Men-at-Arms here could be a smart move, especially because you do have that extra armor with the Men-at-Arms. So hopefully we look to see him pick up those extra armor points. We can see, yeah, no fitted leatherwork just yet, but it could be what makes the difference. You know, the difference between 6 and 8 armor starts to add up over the course of a fight when not only do you have 155 health, but you've got 28 units with 155 health. So we'll have to keep that in mind. But at this stage of the game, 5 minutes until Sacred Victory. Marine Lord, he is going to be looking at that age up. Unfortunately, I didn't pick it up. Apologies. I'll throw it up there for you guys. I was trying to keep an eye out for it. Remember, that is manually activated. I have to be aware that this is happening, and then we can actually track it. But unfortunately, if I'm not aware of it, I will miss it. And in this case, I did indeed miss it. So apologies to you. The age up is coming through. It's going to be a quick age up as well. Remember that. Not only quick, it's going to be cheap, which is always lovely. And now this means that Marine Lord, all he needs to do is just click a whole bunch of upgrades. So most likely camel upgrades are what he's going to be thinking about. I don't think archers, but maybe crossbows could be a decent upgrade here as well for him. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that. And meanwhile, CSO, who's not really that close to going Imperial at this stage, not to mention the fact that he needs to think a little bit more about how he's going to deal with these sacred sites, because we've got 4 minutes until Sacred Victory. He is going to push forward, which is probably the right call here, but keep in mind those elite upgrades are on the way through. Elite camels together with elite crossbowmen, as we suspected, are coming through. Sacred site, Marine Lord's actually going to make a decision. Do I choose to fight right now, or do I wait for my upgrades? And it looks like he might be thinking about fighting right now. You can see the numbers are starting to look pretty decent here for CSO. It's even Stevens, realistically. The only thing that's going to put a difference between these two is going to be that elite upgrade. But now the Mangonel firing off. Springald's starting to move through, looking to try and pick it off. Camel Lancers on the front. Crossbows on the back, teeing off towards those men-at-arms. Longbows looking to try and pick them off individually, finding it. The men-at-arm numbers, though, not the best. I'll be honest. Culverin also going to be coming out, looking to try and deal with the Springalds. First one comes through, able to take that shot. Elite upgrades are now through. Elite crossbowmen are online. Elite camels are also joining fine, and now it looks like CSO could be in a tough spot. Not only does he have that tech disadvantage, he's also got that military disadvantage now, and this is where things start to go from bad to worse for CSO here. Villager count is in favor of Marine Lord, up 30 villagers, and didn't manage to take the sacred sites, which means now you've got a clock ticking. Have a look at this. Triple eco upgrade also coming through for Marine Lord at the same time. He's picking up every single eco upgrade that we've got here. Not only do you have that lumber, that extra little bit of capacity, you've got precision crossbreeding, and you've also got the copulation, which means extra resources are going to be dropped off here. So Marine Lord going to be feeling very good about himself, that is for sure. All right, well, let's check in and see how CSO's doing on the backside. Needs to get a little bit more production. We can see he's moving into Springalds here, but it's one of those... Oh, the Berkshire. Could this be the Berkshire to save him? A bit of an awkward spot. Not going to lie. I don't know how I feel about it up on top of the hill like this, especially because it could be interrupted. I don't know if Marine Lord sees it. Marine Lord does technically see it, and now we've got the men-at-arms beginning to make their way forward. Mangonel hasn't fired off. It's quite low health. Mango, good shot onto the backside. Horseman now starting to come through. Will find that Springald before any damage can even be done to his siege. Mango, once again, firing off towards that back line. Looks to have that Berkshire about 50%, but it's a classic case of, I don't think it's going to matter. Lord Doubt not really shining upon it, but oh, he's looking to challenge the sacred site with it. That's why he's going to do it, but he says no, Drongo. It's not going to even matter. I'm just outgunned at this stage of the game, and Marine Lord coming up winning, coming up Victor, coming up strong, coming up Millhouse right there. Ladies and gentlemen, go check out EGC TV. Links in the description. And go say good day from me. We'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.